Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson objective. So, today we will represent data using a bar graph. All right, let's go ahead and get into our success criteria. So, our first success criteria for today is I can create a bar graph. And our second success criteria is I can explain data on a bar graph or using a bar graph, I should say. Okay. All right. Let's do a review of what is data. So, data is a collection of information gathered by observation, questioning, or measurement, right? So, it's basically a collection of information, and we can see data in a bunch of different ways, right? So, over here, we see a frequency table. This is how we are presenting our data. Okay, and a bar graph is what we're going to be talking about today. You might have seen this before in earlier grades, but a bar graph is a graph using bars to show quantities or numbers so they can be easily compared. So if we see over here, this is an example of a bar graph. We have number of students up here, and then we have flavors of their favorite ice cream or of their favorite candy. So we can see when comparing our bar graphs who had with the number of students that liked certain candies more, right? So we can see from here, caramel has a larger bar, right? So more students liked caramel than green apple, right? And if we go ahead and follow this bar graph all the way over here, we can see 10 students liked caramel versus 4 students who liked green apple. So this is an example of a bar graph. It is a way to represent data so that we can compare different data points. Okay? All right. Now let's go ahead and get into our problem. So I'm actually going to go ahead and X my face out. Okay, so our problem says Miss Henry took a poll of her first period class. She asked the students if they preferred vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry ice cream. The data is shown below. Create a bar graph to represent the data. So over here we have a frequency table showing us the data that she collected. So 7 students liked chocolate, 5 students liked strawberry, and 2 students liked 5 students liked vanilla, and 2 students liked strawberry. So over here we have bar graph paper. We also call it grid paper sometimes, and we are going to create our bar graph. So up here we have this axis, this line right here. So I'm just going to draw a straight line right up and down here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a straight line right up and down here. All right. So now when we are creating a bar graph, we want to first make sure that we have intervals. That means like the spaces in between our numbers. And I'm just going to go ahead and change them by 1. So up here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little tick right here and make that 1. I'm going to do this 2 every 2. I'm going to go ahead and do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on this side of my graph, I'm going to go ahead and label, and I'm going to put down the number of votes, right? So I'm going to put down number of votes. Okay. And on the other side, let me go ahead and change my color. I'm going to put down the flavors of ice cream that I have, right? So I'm going to put down C for chocolate, just so we have more space. Yeah, it's a little hard to see just because of my screens. I'm going to put down C for chocolate right there. Put down V for vanilla and S for strawberry. And ordinarily you don't want to write down the whole thing, but just because we don't have space, I'm going to go ahead and just abbreviate. Now, we can see that for chocolate, I have 7 students who prefer chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I go up to 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put down 7, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a line right there and make a bar. And we can put that there, right? And you can fill it in if you like, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Now for vanilla, I see that 5 students like vanilla, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I follow this line and go up to 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is going to go right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down. So we have 5 students who preferred vanilla. And now let's go ahead and look at strawberry. So 2 students liked strawberry. So we're going to go ahead and do 1, 2. Now looking at my bar graph, I can see that more students liked chocolate because it's a taller bar than vanilla and strawberry. So most of her students liked chocolate. All right, so there is our first bar graph. Now let's go ahead and go on to our next graph, okay? So this says Miss Henry took a poll of all of her classes, I should say classes with an S, sorry guys, of all of her classes. Okay. She asked students what their favorite color was. The data is shown below. Create a bar graph to represent the data. So over here, we see this bar graph. Now, when we are creating a bar graph, we want to make sure that our intervals or our spaces between each tick are the same. So on this side, up and down, I'm actually going to go ahead and flip it this time. So on the bottom, I'm going to put down the number of students. And I'm actually going to go ahead and start my graph up here just so we have more space. And then I'm going to go put it over here. So if I'm going to put down number of students on this side, I'm going to put down the color up here. Okay. Go ahead and change this color to red. Now let's go ahead and space everything. And this time I'm going to go by 5s. I'm going to skip by 5s. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and draw this right here. And I'm going to put down 5 here. I'm going to go 2 more. I'm going to put down 10 here. I'm going to go 2 more, put down 15 here. 2 more, and put down 20. 2 more, and I'm going to put down 25. Okay, let's go up to 30. Okay, now in the same way, I'm going to do on the other side, right? So now I'm going to label the colors. So down here, I'm going to put down, up here, I'm going to put down red. Red. And red has 15. So we're going to go 5, 10, 15. So this is how many students liked red. That was their favorite color. Now let's go ahead and go on to yellow. So yellow has 20. So we're going to go up to 20, go all the way up, and put yellow right here. And we want to make sure we label, put down yellow. Okay, now let's go on to blue. Blue has 22. So we're going to go up to 20, go all the way up, and do 20. And that's going to be blue. Okay, and now we're going to look at our next one, which is orange. Orange has 10, so we go 5, 10, go all the way up, and we're going to do orange. Okay, and last but not least is we have green, and green actually has, let's make that green. The green has 25, so we're going to find 25 on the bottom and go up, go right along this line. I'm going to put green right there. And so this is green. So now looking at our bar graph, I can see that most students preferred the color green. That was their favorite color. And the least amount of students preferred the color orange by looking at my bar graphs. Okay, it's because this one had the largest space and orange had the smallest space. All right, let's go review our lesson objective. So our lesson objective for today was we represented data using a bar graph. All right, y'all, I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.